This is NewHampshireCrossCountry.com, powered by Runner's Alley. We're coming to you from the 2020 dual meet Oyster River versus Co-Brown, little high school rivalry action. Schools separated just a few miles of Route 4. We are at Demerit Hill Farm, our meet sponsor for today, Demerit Hill Farm here in Lee, New Hampshire. Beautiful setting for this crisp September morning. Woke up and the temperature was saying something in the 40s, and all week we've been 60s, 70s. So it's a little bit of a shock to the system, but it is absolutely gorgeous racing weather today. As stated, this is a dual meet. Most meets we'll see this year are dual meets. A lot of different procedures that will be happening because of that. We can see the starting line, they're spread out a bit. Each starting line at each course is going to be a little bit different. Here at Demerit Hill, they can host 14 runners on the line at a time to maintain their distance. With that, we see 7 Co-Brown on the right side and 7 Oyster River on the left side. After those 7 take off, 15 seconds after, wave 2 will start, and we'll keep going through that process till all the runners have started. A little bit of separation on the course is going to probably be pretty good for the flow of it. We're just a couple minutes away, and we can look at the history of these teams and see what they've done before, but ultimately it's going to be all about what they were able to accomplish in the spring as well as the summer. We're looking at health, practicing solo versus practicing as a team. There's a lot of factors that build into it, so we can't just go off of last year's stats. But while I mention it, last year's stats, we did have CBNA finishing 2nd at D2s, whereas Oyster River was 4th. CBNA graduated 1 senior last year, whereas Oyster River lost 3 of their top 5, 4 of them overall. So we've got some younger teams in terms of Oyster River. Co-Brown a little bit more experience, only missing 1 of those. But Co-Brown has actually never run here before on Oyster River's home course. And again, with this course, as an apple falls near me, very exciting stuff here at the Orchard. On this course a year ago, this is where we had our Bobcat Invitational, which is the first invitational last year that we covered. So that kind of gives you a framework for where we are normally in the season. Of course, meets couldn't start officially till yesterday. I know Messinic had a meet, so this isn't quite the first meet in the state, but it's pretty darn close. Looking at that line, top 7 for Co-Brown: Addison Cox, Amelia Edmonds, Sheldon Fisher, Isabel LeMay, Tessa Millette, Natalie Sicard, Mallory Taylor.
Well, Greg Hall is a heck of a high school athlete, I'll tell you that. Did okay in college too. We loved him.
And they're off. First meet for all of these athletes. And again, 15 seconds behind, we'll see wave 2 coming at us now in blue for Oyster River. We've got Tessa Brown, Erin Carty, Gianna Coppola, Emma Hall, Ella Stasco, Sophie Sullivan, and Marley Yoder. Take a look at these girls coming up this hill now. And it does look like Addison Cox is out to a pretty strong lead. We kind of expect that, as we can see the pack not too far behind. Addison really trying to push that pace up. And now wave 2 coming at us as well. Wave 2 consisting of Carr, Anikush Gladva, Charlotte Cleaver, Cadence Howard, Cassidy Taylor, Elizabeth White, all for Co-Brown, Carly Anderson, Oyster River, Tala Benefoot for Oyster River, Addie for Oyster River, Abby and Kelly, all for Oyster River. And we can see wave 3 coming now. Girls only have wave of 3. We'll see what's going on at the 1 mile. Coming into view, we've got Addison Cox of Cole-Brown. She's out to a blazing speed. Course record last year by Chloe Trudell. Difference was very, very much at this time. Chloe was right around that 6-minute mark. Addie looking very strong, powering up these hills. The senior putting in the work in the off season, coming back from a number of injuries, and we can see behind her absolutely no one. And here comes a pack of 4 Cole-Brown. This would be their top 5 right here, all spanning across. And Oyster River's first two shortly behind. Great team effort right here. One of the things you can see at a dual meet is all these girls kind of working together to make sure you hit that pace. And again, we're right at that 1 mile mark. You can see on your screen now. So Cole Brown working together. And then we've got Marley Yoder, the senior, as well as I believe that was Tessa Brown, freshman for Oyster River, their top two. This would be Cole Brown's number 6, Amelia Edmonds, as well as their number 7. So after this, any Cole Brown we see, we can anticipate them being from wave number 2. Again, wave number 2 starting 15 seconds later. Oyster River with another 3. Those 3 led by Emma Hall. And this is an absolutely challenging course. A lot of up and down, not really a whole lot of flat. The only time it is flat, it's a sneaky hill of sorts where it's either a slight down or a slight up. So they never really get a rest. You can see these girls laboring pretty hard. Again, early season for them. This is the first meet for all of these ladies. And they're putting in the work pretty well. Definitely an interesting dynamic having wave starts, so you might start seeing wave 3 overtake wave 2 in some parts, maybe wave 2 sneaking up to wave 1 with only those 15 seconds in between. All of that will get sorted out in the end. That's why we're seeing these bib numbers, makes it nice and easy. Everything we're doing here is as safe as it can be for this sport. Finishing, as soon as they finish, they're just leaving the chute, not hanging out, nothing getting stopped and recorded. You're just going right on through. And with that, we're gonna go right on through up to the 2 mile mark. And as we get to that 12-minute mark, it does look like that is Addison Cox approaching the 2 mile mark. And she is absolutely cruising right now. She's right on that same pace as Chloe Trudell for that course record. Laboring a little bit, but looking pretty smooth for this time in the year as she crosses that 2 mile mark.
25, you look great.
Next up for her, she's gonna go ahead, get in the woods, do a loop in the woods, and then head straight back up to that finish line. Cole Brown's never run here before, but I know she has checked out this course. And now is when we get to start figuring out if we're on our first wave or third wave. See 5 Cole Brown. I think the first one is probably not on this 2 mile mark, but that group of 4 certainly is. So the young Cole Brown runner going off to the side smartly, letting her teammates get ahead. And this group is working hard. We've got Fisher, Taylor, LeMay, Millette, Oyster River with their first. Again, that's Tessa Brown, freshman, making a really good showing for herself. Oyster River cross-country coach Scott McGrath has to be happy, although he's boys coach. Cole Brown with their 6 of Edmonds. Again, Marley passing us. Probably one of the leaders for Oyster River as she is a senior. Heard a lot of leadership on that starting line, girls talking to each other, just simple reminders that you normally don't have to hear at a cross-country race, so stay apart. We can see it's very spread out here. dual meet that normally happens, and then you add on top of it again our wave starts. Definitely an interesting mix. Again, we're at the 2-mile mark here at Demerit Hill Farms, our meat sponsor for today in Lee, New Hampshire. Beautiful apple orchard. Gianna passing us now. Absolutely grueling course. Great racing conditions today though. You see right now they're on this dirt road, gravel road. They also run through some woods. Get some nice dirt there, as well as on some grass. So a few different surfaces for them to have to conquer today. And we're right at that point where we should be heading to that finish spot so we can get the leaders for you. And there she is, Addison Cox, coming on to the finishing stretch. Notice this year, grass has grown in, but under it you still got plenty of gravel. She's a bit off of the record pace last year set by Trudell of 1941, but she could get very, very close. Trudell doing that in an invite, Addison going out just a little bit too strong. Still an impeccable looking finish here, all alone, Addison Cox. Again, that's Co-Brown's Addison Cox, senior. Been a leader on the team for a number of years. I'm sure she's pretty happy to get a good, solid time to start her season with. And we can see just how much she did this all alone. Just got word Addison's time was 19:50. About 9 seconds slower as we see our second place runner come into view now. Another Co-Brown athlete. Again, before all 4 of those Co-Brown girls were grouped up, so it's hard to see who it is. I believe that is Sheldon Fisher. And we see the rest of that top 5 from Co-Brown. So Fisher now in, Taylor now in. We've got Millette and LeMay coming in together. And we take a look back up the hill and we see Oyster Rivers first. If there hasn't been a change, I believe this should be Tessa Brown. We'll see when she gets a little bit closer. Again, this last finish is all downhill, but in order to get here, they had to go up a uphill that was twice as long. And this is Tessa Brown, Oyster Rivers first. Again, freshman coming into it. Co-Brown with their number 6. That looks like it is Edmonds. Junior crossing the line. A lot of distance in between with these dual meets. We're going to expect to see this all season long as we see Oyster River second rounding the curve. That's probably Marley Yoder, as well as Co-Brown's number 7. So team-wise, head-to-head, Co-Brown did take this with a perfect score. Marley. Natalie Sicard of Co-Brown. Emma Hall, Oyster River. That's their 3rd. Oyster River's number 4, 5, 6, and 7. They've got a great pack here This says a lot about the potential going forward. Anytime you can see a group of girls running together this early on, it can mean positive things as the season goes. Anytime you can run as that pack, we saw it with Cole Brown and 4 up front. This just means this team will get stronger as the season continues. Aaron Carty. And it looks like that might have been a couple of girls from their second wave. That was Gina Copa. And we are starting to get some second wave runners now. And we're also starting to see a little bit less gaps in between. Everyone's kind of keeping striking distance of someone if they can. Very challenging course for this time of the year. That was Ella, Ruby Carr, or Rowan Carr, excuse me. Rowan will give me a hard time later, I'm sure. Again, you take a look at the clock now, but each wave was separated by those 15 seconds. Rowan was in wave 2, which means you can subtract 15 seconds from that to get what she actually got. And again, timers are doing that for the official results.
Have you been able to get every one of them?
Now the boys, that'll be
Once again, this is Oyster River versus Cole Brown, Oyster River's home course, Demerit Hill Farms here in Lee, New Hampshire. See some apple trees right next to these runners as Addie finishes junior for Oyster River from wave 2.
Okay, yeah. Some of the second wave girls actually, they flew ahead of
Anushka from Cole Brown, sophomore, wave 2 runner. Charlotte Cleaver, Cole Brown. This is her senior year. Talia from Oyster River. Another freshman for Oyster River. Again, Oyster River's top 7 had a couple of freshmen. And we saw that pack mentality. Cassidy Taylor, freshman from Cole Brown. Hannah, junior, Oyster River. So wave 3. So again, that's 30 seconds now. As well as Hannah. Hannah and Hannah. Kelly, sophomore. Good looking finish here from Addison, freshman from Oyster River. See another Cole Brown runner coming down the hill now.
I think this is our last go round. Oh no, there is one.
Opting to go a little bit wide, a little bit grassier there, not as much gravel right there. And that was Cassandra Cleary. And it looks like we have another Oyster River runner coming down now.
We have one more after.
There's Rowan.
No, Rowan already finished.
No, not Rowan.
Okay.
freshman from Oyster River. And with the majority of our runners finished, we're gonna go get ready for the boys race. This has been NewHampshireCrossCountry.com, powered by Runners Alley. The girls dual meet here, Co-Brown versus Oyster River. To Merritt Hill Farms, our meet sponsor today.